Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday night at the sports ground. Let's make some noise. Put your hands together. Show your appreciation. Let over the captain, John Bowler. Let's hear it for Colin.
Our ethnography project was focused around the game of rugby. We used qualitative data such as observations and casual conversations. Our goal was to gain understanding of the consumer through sonic interpretation. We carried out our observations at the home stadium of Connacht Rugby, which holds up to 8,000 people. So I'm going to begin by giving a brief history of Connacht Rugby. It was founded in 1885 and it represents the west of Ireland in the IRFU. Connacht compete in the Pro 14 and European Rugby Challenge Cup. Throughout our observations, we found three main themes: anticipation, respect and communitas, which will be discussed throughout the presentation.
16, Dave Heffernan. Number 20, Paul Boyle replacing number 2, Tom McCartney. And number 6,
This is the sound of the drums echoing the stadium to announce that the match is about to start. This sound narrates my entrance and raises the expectations on what I'm about to testimony. Sounds, in essence, have an impact on cognitive, emotional, and behavioral responses. One of its strengths is to bring the expectations up and drive behavior. The drums are such a powerful communicators that supporters know it's time to get ready. They rush to get their drinks and find the best spot. The conversations just stop and the attention is driven to the pitch. By assimilation, we can predict certain events according to the sound we interpret, and it helps us to make value-based decisions in response to what we hear. At this point, the anxiety is mixed to the atmosphere of celebration, thanks to the power of sound. I'm Shipping Up to Boston is Connacht's soundtrack, a Celtic punk song in which the lyrics do not communicate any message related to sports, but the sound is an adrenaline driving. The song brings the crowd up and clearly differentiates the host team from the adversary. Even before the match begins, there is already a winner, at least when it comes to crowd noise. It might confirm the statistic that home teams in sports competitions win over 50% of the games.
Respect is a key characteristic of rugby. We notice different elements of respect portrayed in the game of rugby. We found that mutual respect is shown between the players of opposing teams. As we can see in this photo, Connacht's Bundy Aki shows his respect for his opponent. The second image here shows the traditional handshakes between the team members after the game. Another element of respect is shown by the players to the referee. We found that in the game of rugby, players show a profound honour by simply listening and obeying by the referee's rules. This is in stark contrast to other sports such as soccer, where a significant level of disrespect is shown. Finally, we observed the element of respect transcends from the players to the supporters. These were presented to us by certain actions throughout our observations, such as the silence during conversions and penalties. You could almost hear a pin drop. Through applauding during injuries, we noticed that an element of mutual respect was shown here, as the supporters applauded for an injured player no matter the jersey they were wearing.
Go on.
We also observed the crowd's moments of support for their teams through chants and cheers, which were a very regular occurrence of the games.
Respect is a huge element in rugby and its culture. As stated before, respect is shown in many ways, such as silence during penalties and conversions, chants and cheers during moments of need, and applause during injury of any player from any team. However, the crowd show the referee with a significant amount of disrespect, yelling, swearing, and booing when he doesn't rule in their favour, and applauding, cheering, and clapping when he does rule in their favour. This is much different to that of the players, whom showed the ref with high regard and high respect by always listening and never talking back to his orders.
In the matches, we noticed a large share of community. Many wore jerseys, hats, and other merchandise, signifying their support for the team. Communitas is divided into 4 categories. These are identity, status, culture, and ritual. Communitas always be defined as relationships among people. Spectators may come from the same community or area. They cheer on their sport team together. In this process, people's relationship is in intimacy and equality. Even people who don't know each other become familiar with the sports by chatting. When they cheer together for the team, happy, sad, angry, their common emotional experience is the most direct, the most vivid. For the status, the team at the beginning may not be a very good team, but through the joint efforts and belief of the players, supporters, they build team from the grassroots up. No one can underestimate their determination and strength. These advantages lead to their success.
The culture of rugby is showed in 3 aspects. The first one is respect. Audiences respect the match and players. They clap for players when they get hurt, and they become quiet during shot. Also, players respect each other and the rule of the game. They shake hands with opponents after each match, and they obey the judgments from referees. Secondly, the rugby culture is diverse. Rugby match is popular in many countries, and rugby fans from different countries come to watch the match to support the team they like. As time goes by, rugby culture inherited by lots of people. It becomes a heritage with great value. For rituals, people always meet with their friends at the pub before the match. Most of them wear green shirts. They talk and drink in the pub and watch match on TV as well. Then they leave the pub 10 or 20 minutes before the match and go together to the stadium. Before going to the audience place, they tend to prepare pre-game food such as drinks and chips in the bar or groceries near the stadium. I saw lots of people were queuing there. If people go with families, parents prefer dressing their kids with sports suits. People all excited with the match. Some people were waving the flag to celebrate during the match. After watching the game, some people head out for the night, enjoying time with their friends and families. Some people go home directly for bed.
Supporters play a vital role in the sonic consumption of rugby. A match is only half as good as the crowd at it. They produce the atmosphere and they can shift the atmosphere through their reactions and expressions. They help to narrate the game and the expected emotions required for the supporters. Anticipation can be found through the use of the heartbeat sound to signify the start of the game and helps to create a tense atmosphere. Songs such as I'm Shipping to Boston help hype up the crowd and get them excited. Respect can be found through the chants, cheers and applause as well as the silence when it is required. Any form of disrespect is reacted to with anger or frustration. Rugby has a very diverse, proud and respectable community. The supporters take pride in the heritage, status and reputation that comes with the sport.